hold on to your pocket change because that old wheat penny you've overlooked might be worth a fortune. These aren't just rare coins, they're legendary pieces of American history hiding in plain sight. From double dies to minting mistakes, we're diving deep into the jaw-dropping stories behind the most sought-after wheat pennies ever discovered. That's right, some of these rare 1920-era wheat pennies have sold for the price of a luxury car, and a few might even be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be recognized. But what makes these coins so valuable? What secrets lie within their copper surfaces? And most importantly, how can you tell if you're holding one of these treasures? Let's take a step back to the year 1920. The world had just emerged from the shadows of World War I, and the United States was entering the roaring 20s, a time of jazz, industry, and optimism. During this time, the Lincoln wheat penny was already a staple of American coinage. First introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the wheat penny was revolutionary. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, breaking the tradition of using abstract figures like Lady Liberty, off-center strike errors, $10,000 to $25,000, double die obverse, DDO, $55,000 to $76,000. Die cracks and cuds, $60,000 to $99,000. Wrong planchet errors, $15,000 to $50,000. Record-breaking auction sales price. Let's talk real numbers because the auction world has seen some astonishing sales of 1920-era cents. A 1920 Lincoln cent double die obverse in MS-64 red sold for $76,000 at Heritage Auctions in 2021. This coin was virtually flawless and had sharply visible doubling on both the date and motto. Another example, a 1920 D penny with a rare off-center strike and retained die break sold for $55,000, despite having moderate wear. And perhaps most amazing of all, a 1920 Philadelphia strike on a silver planchet, a major mint error, stunned collectors when it brought in a whopping $99,000 at private sale. That's the power of rarity plus error. What makes these values skyrocket? It's a combination of scarcity, collector demand, historical importance, and of course, condition. How to identify a one in your collection? Here's what you need to look for if you want to join the elite few who've cashed in on this penny. Start with a magnifying glass, preferably 10x. Check the date. Do the numbers look doubled? Look at the In God We Trust and Liberty. Is there visible doubling or distortion? Check the rim. Is it misaligned or cut off on one side? Feel the coin. Any raised cracks or bubbles? These might be die cracks or cuds. Weigh the coin. A standard penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Deviations might mean a wrong planchet. Pro tip: use an app like PCGS Coinfax or consult error coin forums. Post photos, ask experts, and get opinions before selling. The 1935 wheat penny, one of the most hunted coins in the world of numismatics. And how can you tell if the penny in your hand is actually a six-figure treasure? Stay with me as we uncover the shocking minting mistakes, the jaw-dropping sales, and the rich history that transformed a humble 1-cent coin into a collector's holy grail. Let's set the stage. The year was 1935. The Great Depression was still tightening its grip on America. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal policies were in full swing, and every penny mattered literally. Pennies were precious to families scraping by, and the U.S. Mint was pumping out millions of them to keep the economy moving. Philadelphia no mint mark. Denver D mint mark. San Francisco S mint mark. Cut error, $5,000 to $10,000. Wrong planchet error, $75,000 to $95,000. Double die obverse DDO, $88,000 to $110,000. Off-center strike, $30,000 to $125,000. Record-breaking auction sales price and value. Let's look at real-life proof that these coins are breaking the bank. 1935 DDO Lincoln wheat penny MS66 RD sold for $88,000 at Legend Rare Coin Auctions. 1935 off-center strike 70% off, red-brown, $55 Australian dollars brought $110,000 on Heritage Auctions. 1935 D repunched mint mark MS65 realized $125,000 at a Stacksbauer sale. These aren't stories or myths. These are verifiable sales. And if you're lucky, one of these six-figure coins might be sitting right in your pocket or old family coin jar. How to identify a 1935 era penny. Now let's get into the actionable stuff. How you can spot one of these gems. Use a 10x magnifying glass. Look for signs of doubling on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. If you see shadow-like impressions, boom, you might have a DDO. Weigh the coin. A normal 1935 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it may be a wrong planchet error. Check the edges. Are they cut off on one side? This could be an off-center strike. Never clean it. Cleaning a rare error penny destroys its value. Keep it as is and handle it carefully. Look for mint mark oddities. Use high-res photos or overlays to compare the D or S to see if they show signs of repunching. We're diving deep into the most valuable 1936 wheat penny ever discovered, breaking down what makes it so rare, showing you exactly how to spot it, and revealing the jaw-dropping auction prices that will blow your mind. You don't want to miss a single second of this hunt for a six-figure coin. The year is 1936. America is still climbing out of the Great Depression, and Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal programs are in full swing. It was a year of rebuilding, hope, and innovation, and amid it all, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing one of the most iconic coins in American history, the Lincoln Wheat Cent, designed by Victor David Brenner and first issued in 1909. The Lincoln Wheat Penny had become a mainstay of American currency by 1936. That year, the penny was minted, off-center strike, $6,000 to $12,000 plus, die cracks and cuts, $20,000 to $50,000, wrong planchet errors, $30,000 to $60,000, auction sales price and market value. Let's look at real-world proof that this penny is worth life-changing money. 1936 DDOMS66RD sold for $138,000 via Heritage Auctions. 1936 double die obverse MS65 red fetched $154,000 in a Stax Bowers sale. 1936 off-center 58 Australian dollars with full date sold for $185,000. 1936 SRPM MS65 sold for $40,000. These aren't myths. These are authenticated, graded coins commanding insane prices at some of the biggest auction houses in the world. How to identify a rare 1936 penny. If you're ready to search for your six-figure penny, here's how to do it. Tools you'll need: 10x loupe or microscope, digital scale, lighting and angled view for doubling. Checklist: date doubling, check the 1936 if the numbers look bold, shadowed, or doubled. Investigate further. Motto and Liberty: look for doubling in Liberty. Check mint mark: is it repunched or misaligned? Off-center design: is part of the rim missing or misaligned? Unusual weight or color suggests wrong planchet. Edge damage or bubbles could be die breaks or cuts. Pro tip: compare your coin with photos from trusted sources like PCGS, Coinfax, or NGC Registry. In this video, we'll reveal the unbelievable truth behind the most valuable 1937 wheat penny ever minted, break down what makes it worth six figures, and show you how to spot one in your own collection. Stick around until the end because your next penny could be a life-changing treasure. The year was 1937. America was in the final stretch of the Great Depression, and just a few years away from entering World War II. The U.S. Mint continued producing coins to fuel a recovering economy, including the ever-reliable Lincoln Wheat Penny, introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln in 1937. These pennies were struck at three locations: off-center strike, $7,000 to $12,000, cut error, $4,000 to $5,000, wrong planchet error, $50,000 to $48,500, struck through errors, $25,000 to $30,000. Real auction sales that shocked collectors. Let's look at the cold hard facts. Real sales of rare 1937 pennies. 1937 DDOMS66 red sold privately for $170,000. 1937 double die obverse MS65 red realized $190,000 at Heritage Auctions. 1937 off-center 60% MS64 sold for $240,000. $1,000. 1937 DRPM MS65 sold for $5,750. 1937 on 10C silver planchet graded 58 Australian dollars, sold for $48,500. These are verified, authenticated, and graded coins, no myths or speculation. With demand continuing to rise, values could increase. How to identify a rare 1937 era penny. Think you might have a 1937 penny that's more than pocket change? Here's a checklist to help you find out. Tools you'll need: 10x or 20x loupe, digital scale, proper lighting, a reference guide, PCGS, NGC, or Coinfax. Signs to look for: mint mark issues, look at the D or S under the date. Is there a faint second outline? Weight: a standard penny should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything significantly different could mean a wrong planchet. Misalignment: part of the design missing. The strike might be off-center. Raised blobs or bumps could be a cut error from a broken die. What not to do: don't clean the coin, you'll destroy its value. Don't alter it, leave everything original for grading. We'll explore the mysterious 1945 era wheat penny that's turning heads and changing lives. You'll learn what makes this coin so incredibly rare, how to spot one, and how collectors are shelling out six figures just to own a piece of minting history. Stick around, because you might already own a penny that's worth more than a house. The year 1945 marked a turning point in history. World War II was ending, soldiers were coming home, and America was entering a new era of hope and industrial recovery. The U.S. Mint, meanwhile, was producing coins to fuel the booming post-war economy, including the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny, A mainstay since 1909 and 1945, the wheat penny was struck in massive numbers at 3 mints Philadelphia no mint mark. Off-center strike, $6,000 to $12,000. Double die obverse, DDO, $8,000 to $15,000. Die breaks and cuts, $20,000 to $40,000. Real-life auction sales price. Let's explore some actual sales that prove how insane these prices are. 1945 Lincoln penny on silver dime planchet, MS66, sold for $220,000. 1945 off-center strike, 70%, brought $260,000 at auction. 1945, SRPM MS65 sold for $300,000 on Stack's Bowers. 1945 DDO in MS64 sold for $50,750. Foreign planchet error 55 Australian dollars realized $72,000. These aren't just high-end fantasy numbers. These are verified, graded, authenticated coins that fetched top dollar at auctions like Heritage, Stack's Bowers, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions. How to identify a rare 1945 era penny. So, how can you tell if the penny in your hand is worth a car or even a house? Tools you'll need: 10x, 30x magnifying glass or microscope, digital gram scale, lighting and angle control, access to photo references, PCGS, NGC, or Coinfax. What to look for: color and weight. A silver 1945 penny weighing around 2.5 grams is a huge red flag. In a good way. Double date or letters. Check 1945. Off-center strike is part of Lincoln's face or the rim missing mint mark. Oddities: repunched D or S mint marks are valuable. Foreign look or size could indicate a wrong planchet. Raised blobs or breaks indicates cuts or die breaks. What not to do: don't clean your coin, ever. It destroys value instantly. Don't assume it's worthless just because it's old. Errors change everything.